Hey, it's Rob. It's Wax Wednesday stuff I picked up. Took last week off for personal reasons. I'm back strong this week with 5. So we got to move right through this here. And remember, if you've picked up something, tell me about it in the comment section. If you haven't already done so and you think this might be a cool series, watching the stuff I buy on a weekly basis, feel free to hit subscribe. Anyway, let's go. Wax Wednesday. Here's our first one. And man, I was so happy to get this. This is Morgan Davis. I'm Ready to Play. This is debut album from 1982. I should mention as well, it's on funky, it says gold vinyl, but I don't know, it's more like a canary yellow or something. But I'm telling you, this is a pretty good album. Obviously Morgan's a younger man here, but man, there's a lot of spirit in his playing. It's produced and guest musician as guitarist on this is Colin Linden as well. So like he's like a heavyweight in this country, and Morgan's no slouch either. I actually like his singing on this. He's got some real spirit to him. Anyway, Morgan is now based, at this point, he was based in Toronto. He's originally from the States, but he's lived in Nova Scotia for the last little while. And when we had our cafe, Morgan was one of our regulars. He would, come around every 3 months or so and put on a great show every time. I've probably seen him about, 15 to 20 times over the years, and he's great because he's not only a fantastic entertainer, he's also somewhat of a historian as well. So you're not only entertained, you're educated as well. He doesn't like it when people call him a legend, but let me put it this way. He's played with enough of them that he's picked up a lot of cool tricks from some legends. So whether that makes him one or not, I'll respect your wishes, but I think you're a fine blues man, Morgan Davis, and you've made a great career for yourself for 50 plus years. Well done. Anyway, his debut album, I'm Ready to Play, on Bullhead Records, which I think is his own record label that he started to put this out. This also, oh, by the way, before we pass on this, the big song on this is Why'd You Lie, which I believe was an early single, big single for Colin James. But this is the original version is on this, so there you go. Morgan Davis kicks us off tonight. Next up, I cannot resist a flea market or a yard sale or a pawn shop or an antique store. Like I'm just like a moth to light when it comes to these things. Anyway, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this one. Rolling Stones, arguably their worst record from 1986. Is that when this one came out? Let me put it this way. This is the last time this is not the first time I've owned this album. The first time I owned this album, I bought it when it was brand new, and it's the last time I bought the new Stones album because it was somewhat of a stinker. It was definitely a disappointment. One Hit to the Body, it's not a bad song, but the rest of it is phoned in, I honestly got to say. And look how they're dressed. I mean, Keith, it's black leather, skull rings, not pastels. Mick, is that an orange silk shirt? What are you doing to me? Anyway, Rolling Stones, Dirty Work. I paid $5 for it. It's another title in my Rolling Stones collection, so we'll roll with it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Oh, I got to be careful how I pick this one up. I got to be real strategic. This one I was super pumped to get, and I've listened to this a lot since I got it. This is Daniel Lanois, For the Beauty of Winona, which came out in 1993, I believe, originally. This is a nice smoky-colored clear vinyl. A rather provocative album cover, as you can see. Yes, underneath the hand is a boob. A rather thin figure wielding a switchblade. Man, quite a striking image. But anyway, the music itself, fabulous. He's always been given credit as one of these guys who was so good at working atmosphere. And this album is tons of atmosphere. He's probably best known as a producer or, someone in that role. He's worked on some big albums. Well, he worked with Brian Eno on some pretty big U2 albums. He's worked with Willie Nelson. He's worked with Bob Dylan. And he's a Canadian, I might add. So, Daniel Lanois from Hamilton, I believe. And this great album here, For the Beauty of Winona. Fantastic record. Love it. Anyway, I got to carefully move this out of the frame. There we go. Couldn't pass up on this one either. Talk about, one of those albums that has made a difference. This is one of those. MC5's classic, Kick Out the Jams. I think this is a 2023 reissue. Again, not the first time I've owned this one either, but man, this is a beauty. I do like the spatter vinyl, but this one looks like an explosion almost. So it's got a great look to it. As for a record, the MC5 were part of that Detroit scene of the late 60s, which, a lot of people think of Detroit, they think of Motown. But Detroit also had a very strong garage music scene. And these guys were making a lot of noise politically around the time as well. They were led by John Sinclair as their manager. He was the guy behind the White Panther Party. The MC5 kind of became the house band of that. They got, kind of saddled with some political baggage throughout their career, and it ended up, driving quite a wedge between them and Sinclair, because Sinclair got arrested, and without their, guiding light to kind of keep fanning the flames, he's somewhat of a provocateur. These guys kind of seemed to lose their steam a little bit after that, and they would go on to make a couple more records. But this is the one that has the infamous line, "Kick out the jams, mother effers." And that's probably the first time that ever appeared on a musical vinyl release of any kind at the time. Because of that, they were banned by some stores, including a local department store chain in Michigan called Hudson's. So they put out a full-page ad in the local press, music press, saying "F Hudson's," and they put the Elektra logo right on the page. Of course, they're going to pay for that, right? So after that, Elektra kind of says, "No, I can't work with you guys." One thing about this album, though, it's probably the only time I can think of in history where a debut album from a major label artist is a live album. They were trying to capture their energy, their power in the studio, because they were always such a force as a live act. But they could never really, convey that in the studio. It always seemed a little more sterile than the MC5 could be as a band. So this is one of those bold moves where in over 2 nights at the Grandy Ballroom, which was the hot live venue in Detroit in the late 60s, these guys set up camp for 2 nights and recorded their shows and put out their debut album as a live album. And, of course, the rest is history. These guys were signed by Elektra Records and the Stooges, Iggy's old band. They were signed at the same time. Actually, they were signed on the same trip Danny Fields was sent by Elektra Records to make the deal to get these guys for $20,000. $20,000. And he reported back to head office saying, there's another band up here called the Stooges that a lot of people are talking about too. You interested in them? Offer them $5,000. They took it. $25,000, and you've signed two probably of the most, proto-punk influential bands of the late 60s in one fell swoop. Anyway, the MC5, the legendary Kick Out the Jams. What a great album. It does have that energy that, everybody expects from the MC5. So, great album. Classic. A couple of weeks ago, I was at a remote that's an on-location broadcast for the radio station where I work, and a listener came up and introduced himself. We started talking about records. We've been talking a little bit here and there over the last little while over Messenger. His name is Preston McIntyre. Anyways, he comes by the remote that I'm at, and he said, I should bring you one of my records. I said, yeah, you should do that. I'd love to have one of your records. Well, anyway, he leaves and then comes back a little later with this. This is Gassenhauer, Live and Loud. I believe, to be fair, I think this was probably something that came out after the band was a reality. It's some live board mixes. So yeah, I guess this is another live debut album too, because I think this is their only record, although they did appear on some compilations in Canada. They were part of that Montreal scene that was pretty big in the 80s. Montreal had a great scene. When I was first getting initiated into Canadian independent music, I loved the Nils, I loved the Asexuals, a little later on the Doughboys and stuff like that. So yeah, I was into it. But anyway, these guys were part of the NDG scene. It's an oi punk kind of a band, but Preston was very quick to remind me that these guys did not get hung up on the racism that gets, associated with a lot of skinhead bands. So good on you, Preston. Glad to see that. It's a combination of covers and originals. It sounds pretty good. Like I say, it's a board mix. So, it's sort of bootleg quality, but maybe a step above standing out in the crowd with a microphone. It's pretty damn solid. And as a gift, I thank you very, very much, Preston. And fun fact on Gassenhauer, 40 years ago this month, they played CBGB's, the New York City punk mecca. That's pretty cool. I've never played CBGB's. I know lots of bands have never played CBGB's. So if you have, you're part of history, as are these guys. So 40 years ago, well done, Preston. There's Preston right there with his Fender P-Bass. Anyway, Gassenhauer, Live and Loud, 2 LP set. It's going in the collection now, buddy. It's right between Gaslight Anthem and Marvin Gaye. You are forever committed to the shelf. Thank you very much. That's it for Wax Wednesday stuff I picked up this week. It's been a pretty good week, and I hope you have a great weekend, or week, whatever. I hope you have a great few days in front of you. And if you pick up a record, I hope you play it loud and tell me all about it. Anyway, till next time, ciao. We'll talk soon, eh?